What's up, everyone? This is Hart Pickers. This is Ronnie, and we're back. It's been a long time since we did a video or we did the podcast. We did several episodes last winter, and due to the wife's school and some other issues, we got away from it. But gonna try it out again for a little while and see how it does. Gretchen will not be home for a few more weeks. Hopefully I can get her into one of these calls and we can do the video together and have some fun. She's away right now with her mom. But anyway, get into it. We're basically talking about our week reselling on eBay. If you happen to come across this video for the first time, me and my wife Gretchen, we resell full-time on eBay. There's a few other income streams we have between eBay, eBay being our main source, but there's also Amazon, Facebook groups that we sell some stuff. Craigslist still stuff the old-fashioned way on Craigslist. Make a little change on YouTube here, enough to put a little gas in the car, but nothing special. But make our living and doing it the old-fashioned way, hustling, trying to find that stuff for eBay. But we're going to get into a few different interesting things that have happened during the week. And, this was the week of questions. I don't know what it was with eBay buyers. I'm assuming it's buyers. Maybe I was getting trolled or something by other people. But it was crazy. One of them I talked about a little bit ago, but this lady happened to order a pair of shoes, boots from us late in the day, Friday. And it was the only thing I think I had to ship out. And I don't do shipping Saturday usually. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It was just the one item. I put it off and I figured, I'll take care of it, no problem. So I went out Monday, which by eBay guidelines is fine and dandy. We had it for Smart Post, which is 2 to 9 business days. So what happens is she contacted us, I believe it was Friday, saying where are the boots. And I'm watching the tracking. They're basically saying it's going to be either delivered late that day or the next day. But I'm assuming she thought it was going to be sent United States Postal Service, which I have no idea why, because it was set up FedEx. And on my end, it's saying one estimated delivering date, and on her end, it's showing a different delivery date, she's telling me. So, no idea why, what happened. I haven't heard from her since, so I'm assuming she got the boots. Gave her an explanation saying, I'm sorry about the delay. We sent the item. I assume she thought she was getting it. United States Postal Service, priority mail. Usually 2 to 3 days. Haven't heard from her since. I haven't seen any feedback or anything. So she's bought some stuff from us in the past too, that I've noticed. So I'm hoping everything is fine, but And then we had some messages like on a jacket. There was this little spot on something, so I checked it out, and it wound up I'm assuming it was dust, or maybe the light of the camera, like a little star or something. But that was interesting, but it wasn't. The guy thought maybe it was possibly a hole. I checked it out. No hole. Sent them the message back and never heard back from them. 2 pair of shoes. People wanted to see pictures of soles when there were picture of soles in the pictures. What was the other? The other one was kind of crazy. Was we had some listings end. This was just last night. We had some listings end, and you relist the items, and the guy messaged me to say, oh, so this doesn't sell, you raised the price. I was like, what? What do you mean I raised the price? Like, I'm not sure, 100% sure what you're talking about. And he goes, well, I think I had the item listed for $69.99. He was telling me it was 50 something. I looked and I said, you know what? We'll probably run a 20% off sale. And, we have sales running off, so you can see if you hit the rest of the item. let me know. He goes, well, you know, it's just crazy. Like that was a crazy one. I'm not sure what was that all about, but I get that probably once a month though. Somebody will say something about what's there's the prices. It's like, can they not see on their end that there is a sale running on that item? Um, Definitely interesting, to say the least. That was the thing for eBay questions for the week. I mean, it was crazy. Um, on the other end, though, last month was pretty silly with returns. I think we had boatload of returns opened in what last month, March. We returned a few things in April because they came over the threshold and into April. But we've not. I mean, today's the 24th, and knock on wood, I don't have any wood near me. There's a little wood. We've not had one return, not one yet. 0 returns. We got a week left. I can't remember the last time in 1 month we've not had any returns. I mean, usually we average, like, we sell, it seems like on average 160 items. Like I think I showed it last week, a few weeks back. It was like 165 items, 167 items, 165 items, 169 items. It was like, talk about consistency. What changes is our price per item goes up and down. It fluctuates between, I think we had $44 in January, and it was high as like 66 in February. So it definitely goes up and down, just depending on what we're selling that month. Sell a lot of home run items. Of course, the average price is going to be a little bit higher. We'll talk about sales for the week in a minute, but usually we run about 2% on returns, 2 to 3%. So I mean, on 160 items, that's like probably usually on average 3 to 5 returns a month. So when you get 3 times that, it's kind of like a little crazy. But I think the 2 months before that we were actually on the 2% side. So go figure. And it's usually on bigger return items. I think we had, of those returns, the dollar amount is what sucks because it's on higher dollar items, which, I mean, a lot of those items turned around and sold anyway. But I think 2 of the items were over $200, which is always a hit when you get hit with an item like that. Oh, if you follow me on Instagram, you would see Saturday was a totally bust day for yard sales. It was terrible. It was just crazy. And like, I gotta close Facebook. But one of the things was I went to yard sales. Yard sales, I thought yard sales were gonna be good. There was like 45 of them, yard sales in the area. We used the yard sale treasure map app. You can download that, and it's pretty cool. It links up through Craigslist, and you could learn about the app and do different things. It's pretty cool. But we had like 45 in our area. Probably 30 of them were legit yard sales. So I was kind of psyched. Woke up, left the house that morning. It was 44, and it was off and on, dodging drizzle all morning. So went to probably 8 or 9, 10 yard sales that morning. Wasn't finding really anything. And it was kind of like going to yard sales when people are crazy when their prices, when you show up and they actually have prices higher than what is in the stores, like higher than what you see on eBay. Like I was trying to make a point with a lady who was running an estate sale, and it was over in Bourne. She had a bunch of items, and I was trying to make a point to her that she had a model for $100. Now, out of curiosity, I'm like, well, you got this model, seal in the box, easy to look up. Let me look it up. Last one I could see sold for like $35. So I was trying to show her that her price was crazy. Her response was, well, they sold it too low. I was like, shit, is this lady for real? I mean, you got to get rid of stuff. Like, are you looking to sell stuff? I mean, uh, so I knew right then and there it was time to kind of skedaddle. When I came in there and I seen some of the prices on things, I kind of knew. I was like, I should hurry up and turn out of here. But your curiosity gets the best of you, and you're always going to try to look for something, or something that's out of place, or something that wasn't looked up properly. I couldn't find anything. The lady kind of got my blood boiling a little bit. You could tell. It almost seemed like they set it up as like a antique store, like in the two rooms, And then when someone puts that much time and effort into stuff, you kind of get the little gist of like, this is not good, not good. But I mean, we made our way. I made my way up to like Plymouth, maybe, before I was like, you know what? Let's go to Boston and check out the Goodwill bins, the outlet. If y'all been there, it's in Boston. It's next to the retail store in Boston. It's not in the greatest area. I haven't been there in I haven't been to the bins part in about 3 years. The retail store is a mess. It's probably the largest Goodwill I've ever been to. It's huge, but it's not the cleanest store in the world, and it's not properly, like, it just seems like they put everything they get for donation out on the floor. I mean, I've come across like 30 things and thinking I'm scored, and I'm already walked out with like 4 things because armpit stains, ring around the neck, all kinds of issues. I mean, suit jackets with buttons missing. It's just like, oh. So that store gives me a little bit of, sometimes I find stuff there, sometimes I don't. It's about as far as I make it into Boston. And I don't get there too often. I don't like messing around with Boston traffic. Anyway, went into the bins. It's on the left side of the building. Now, I haven't been in a while. I'm thinking it's Saturday. Probably not much going on here. There was a bunch of people. So, it's kind of small. Ours is not as large as somebody. And they have the deep bins where, they're probably like chest high, or so. So it's like they're 4 feet off the ground or whatever. And just going through the shoes, I was going through things. I was in there 15 minutes. They poured out some stuff around that time. I was overwhelmed. I mean, it's not for everybody. It definitely wasn't for me. For the most part, in there was a bunch of women. There was one guy going through the shoes. I went through the shoes for a little. I was in there maybe 15 minutes, and I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. And I mean, what's the deal with the people? Why do people have to have 2 carts? Like, I seen a few ladies, they have 2 carts. I know when I first came in, I seen a box. I took a box to put stuff in if I found anything, especially shoes, because when am I gonna hold them all? I seen a box near the books, so I was like, oh, taking one of these. So I put stuff. I could put stuff in it. I didn't find anything. It's been a while since I've been in there. Not a fan. Before, we had to have cash. They actually didn't allow credit cards before, but I mean, like I said, I haven't been there in years. It's been at least 3, probably 4 years. I mean, I probably haven't been there in 4 years, probably. We've been to the one in Maine. I was there just last winter, over a few days after New Year's, because we went to Freiburg, skiing, Conway area up in New Hampshire, up that way. And I made my way over to Portland. I went there. I think it was like on New Year's Day. I went to the Goodwill bins over in Portland, Maine, and it was the same thing. It was all moms, basically. I'm assuming women going through the stuff. There was really no men. And I kind of, that one was a lot different. It was cleaner. It was bigger. I kind of tried having a go at it and couldn't find really anything of any interest. And I was like, I don't think I've ever found. I mean, we used to go to the bin probably 6, 7, 8 times. Never really walked away with anything. I know one time we walked away with a lot of books at the one of them, and that's early on when I was doing Amazon. I mean, so we're talking first year here. We're talking 2012, and I got a bunch of books, and they were actually signed by like Red Auerbach, bunch of sports books. They were all signed. I can't remember who else. Magic Johnson, I think, was one of them. Red Auerbach. It was like 5 or 6 of them. Some of them were good. Some of them were not that good. Red Auerbach one did actually really well. We sold those all on eBay though. I don't think I found a few books from Amazon. So I mean, but I never have. I think I found one piece of clothing, and when we got home, it was flawed. It was a Napa, no, Sawyer and Napa, like leather shilling jacket, but it had a rip in it. We wound up selling it for like $60. We didn't. We power paid thick jacket because at that time they didn't do it by the pound. I don't even know if they still do it by the pound or is it by the piece, because it used to be by the piece there. I didn't even look because I didn't find anything to check out, and I didn't like look around to see what was going on. I was just kind of like, oh, there's shoes. As soon as I walked in, I didn't see any carts. So I was kind of like, okay, let me check out these shoes. Let me see if I find anything. Didn't find nothing. I was overwhelmed. I mean, maybe if I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to go to another one here eventually. Probably, maybe at a different location. Maybe, I'm planning on a road trip. Maybe I'll check out some other ones. We've been to the one in Orlando too. It was off Orange Blossom Trail, and that one was new at the time. It was clean, but I didn't find anything there either. But yeah, so that was my thing of the bins. Everybody talking about it. I was in the area. I said, let me check it out. Not for me, but some people love it. Yard sales were just a total bust between the rain and people were crazy with their prices. Sunday I actually went to 2 flea markets in our area in the morning. I wind up finding a Boston Celtics starter satin jacket. It's beautiful. It looks like it's never been worn. The elastic on the sleeves and the waist is perfect. Great jacket. I didn't pay that much for it either. I forgot what I paid, 20 or so, and they wanted more, but I got it down. And it's been there for a little while because I seen it that last time, and I didn't pick it up for whatever reason. Not sure why. I think I forgot about it because it's right in the front of and I didn't feel like carrying it around. But I noticed when I got home, it has embroidery on the sleeve. It says John, so I don't know if it's going to deter so much from the value. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I could probably try to. I think a college picker made a video of taking that stuff out, but I'm not going to really mess around with it. I'm just going to sell it as is and move on from it. And I also found a Keffler and Essler, what do you want to call it, like drafting tool. I paid $10 for it. I didn't look it up or anything. It looked pretty nice. Comps were selling in the $60 to $80 range, so I didn't do too bad on that either. And that's spelled Keuffel and Essler, Esser. They make drafting tools. Usually their stuff is actually worth decent money, sometimes not. But if I can get into it cheap enough, I'll pick it up. That was about it for yard sales and stuff like that. I got all the money ready for yard sales and got my bins in the back of the truck to put stuff in, so it's easier to take it out of the house. But didn't find nothing. So our sales for the week from Monday to Sunday, that's how I do it, our sales. We wind up selling 40 items on eBay for a total of $19.82. and that was an average sale price of item 49.55. So I mean, like I said, we average 100. We've been averaging that like 165, 167 items sold. It's 40 times 4, 160. Add a few extra days on it. I don't know what it is. It's like eBay has us under this day. It's like, hey, you're not going to sell more than this. I think the most items we've ever sold in 1 month has been 209 items. And I know to a lot of people, they're like, boy, I sell that in 1 week. But that 209 items brought us in almost $14,000. Um, so I mean, we broke 200 or right around 200 a few different times. But for us, I mean, we average higher prices, so we don't have to ship as much. I only had 13 items going out this morning, but it was 13 items for about $600. So it's actually pretty nice. And it was weird because when I went to bed, I ran 3 auctions last night to move some stuff. And, well, it was really personal stuff. Nothing sold. One thing sold, actually, some LaRue dress. People were saying that stuff does well on auction, so I had it for about a month, relisted it, and then just put it up as auction. But had some personal stuff up, didn't sell, so I put it back up just to buy it now. But it was crazy. I mean, we went to bed. I went to bed last night, and it was pretty insignificant day. I think we sold 4 items. Sunday I had that item sell. That item hasn't even been paid for. And then I went to bed, and we actually sold 6 more items from the time I went to bed. So it was like 10 o'clock to when I woke up in the morning. 5 things actually sold, I guess, technically between like 10 and 2 eBay time or whatever it is, where it actually counts as the Sunday stuff. And then 1 item sold this morning, sometime this morning. I don't even know when. I was like, hey, woke up to all this. You received payment on my phone because of the PayPal thing. And I was like, oh, last night was kind of busy, wasn't it? But I mean, it was pretty cool. Our most expensive item we actually sold. We only sold 1 item over $100, which is a little bit normal. We had a lot of smaller items sold, like $20 range to like 30, and then we sold a bunch of things in that like 50 to 80, which pumped it back up to almost $50. And then we sold a pair of Chanel heels that we got. They were brand new. They were never worn. You could tell because they had leather soles and they were clean, no issues on them whatsoever. I paid like $20 for them, and they took about 4 months to sell, but we actually got $240 for them shipped. So that was pretty cool. It was a nice sale. That was actually, I think, Monday of last week. Monday of last week was a really good day. Monday was a $500 plus day, and Sunday was a $500 plus day. In between was kind of like a bunch of straggler days where just straggling to get some sales some of those days. Like Saturday has been notorious. Like Friday and Saturdays lately for us have been slow days. Not sure what it is, but they've been slow days. Mondays have been good days, and today I've only sold 1 thing so far. So interesting to know. Another of those 40 sales, I always talk about this. Talk about international sales. We had 5 international sales. 4 were shipped the old-fashioned way with myself shipping them, and 1 was through the global shipping program. We had 2 go to Canada, 2 go to Australia, and 1 went to Netherlands. So that was the 1 GPS sale. Actually, was to the Netherlands. All the other ones were regular shipping from me. So that was about it, like on the shipping part. I mean, we had some international sales. So I mean, if you're not doing international sales, you could be missing out on some sales right there. I mean, that's a decent chunk of percentage of sales. That's like what, 12%. So there's something to keep in mind. Another thing I've noticed, like if you've been living under a rock. Maybe you haven't heard this over the last few days, but I guess Aaron, is it Hernandez? Yeah, Aaron Hernandez, who is a Patriot tight end a few years back, and he murdered some guy, and then he was on trial recently for another murder. He committed suicide, I guess, in his jail cell. And out of curiosity, I was looking up his football jerseys right after that happened, and you could see where people were getting maybe $50, $60, maybe as high as $100 for them. They were getting $300-$400 for those jerseys after. Some people had signed jerseys going for $1,000. The reason why I know that is because on Facebook, with a girl I used to work at a restaurant was asking what a jersey was worth, and I seen it was autographed, and I was like, damn. I was like $1,000. I even tried. I was gonna like try to reach out and say, "You want me to sell that for you?" But I don't really feel like selling a item that belonged to a murderer. I don't know, something about it. I just said, you know what? You don't want to try to sell that. But if you come across an Aaron Hernandez jersey or have one, you might want to sell it. It's actually some decent money in it right now. I'm assuming that's going to die off eventually here pretty quickly. But like anybody, unfortunately, as soon as they pass away, there is a surge in interest in their belongings. I mean, we've seen it with like people like Prince and other magicians or sports athletes over time. You know, when someone passes away, there's a sudden interest in their items. I mean, some people say it's disrespectful, but you know what? At the end of the day, we're supposed to make money. It's no different than buying stuff at the thrift store that was possibly from somebody that passed away and left their clothes and they got donated. Or you're going to a estate sale trying to get stuff. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, I don't go out of my way to look for the stuff, but, you know, it is something to think about. And this is the question part of the show. There's 2 questions. I'm going to go through my questions every week, and I'll answer 2 questions, or maybe it'll be 1 question, just depending on what it is. But there's 2 questions I've gotten like 3 or 4 times this week. So instead of making separate videos, or instead of maybe like you know, just talking about, I just figured I'll talk about it here. Number 1 was, what is somebody, I got all these messages saying, what's wrong with the reselling community? It seems like everybody's fighting and this and that. I mean, for the most part, I mean, there's certain people that don't like other people, or, you know, I don't know how to put it, but, you know, for the most part, I don't try to engage in any craziness. I know there's people in the past that I just can't get along with, and I just, you know what, at the end of the day, I unsub from them. I don't pay attention to anything they're doing, and I just try to go about my business. You come here to learn about reselling. You don't want to hear about drama this and drama that, you know. So I don't know what other people do. I mean, envy, jealousy, who knows, 10,000 different things that can cross into people's minds. Trolling is crazy and ridiculous, but it's YouTube. You can hide behind a wall of secrecy and throw shade at anybody you want, you know. So it is what it is. You know, it kind of reminds me of like you know, Anchorman. You have that scene where the news crew come out and the other news crew come out and they want to fight, and then all of a sudden there's like 5 other news crews. That's kind of how it kind of reminds me of, because anytime you align yourself with anybody, it just seems like, or you're friendly with one person, there's another person that's just gonna come after you and attack you for that reason, and it's just silly. It really is silly. The second question was actually, can you sell your eBay business? Now, it took me a little while. I didn't know where this was coming from, but after watching the video the other day, I seen where this was coming from. And to tell you the truth, I know you can't sell you can't sell your eBay store name. You can't sell your store account. You can't sell that item. I think possibly people have sold them in the past. But, you know, I don't know how selling a business where you're buying and selling used items you can sell as technically as a business, even if you have everything in place. I'm not necessarily how you can sell that as a business because you're gonna have to take that to another place probably, or unless it's somebody that's local to you buying. Like I see your window of like I could see you selling your inventory maybe to somebody. Like I think Rick and Profit sold his inventory to somebody. Um, you know, if anybody wants to buy my inventory, hit me up. I mean, but I don't necessarily see how anybody can sell a eBay business. There's actually people that have eBay businesses listed on eBay because I actually looked into this and tried to figure it out a little bit out of curiosity so I could help and answer back some people's questions on that. But I don't really know what you can sell. Maybe somebody knows somebody that has sold a eBay based business, home business, or whatever you want to say, recently, like in the last 2 3 years. I wouldn't go back too far because I know eBay's changed a lot of things, and we can talk about it a little bit more just out of curiosity of how that maybe worked. But it's definitely interesting. I just don't know how it would work. But that's it. I hope you like this. Give this a thumbs up if there's anything you want me to touch on next week. Add, subtract, let me know. Make sure you hit that likes button. More like button means more videos to be made. Thumbs down if you didn't like it or you don't like me. It's okay. I'm all right. I'll get by. Comment, share. See you guys later. Have a good day. Have a good week. Bye.